Good morning everybody, welcome to Immortal Gaming. This is me again, Marvin, and we're now here for another video for Ragnarok Origin, and this time we're going to be talking about everything about the recent and the current MVPs in the game. So this is going to be quite a long video, but I'm assuring you it will be all worth it. I have already included everything that I can include in this video regarding the MVPs. Alright, so this is very important. For example, right now. Let's now start on Angeline. Angeline is the only monster in the game that has Holy Element as of now. So, Holy Element gets less damage from almost every element in the game. The only thing that will be dealing more damage to this type of armor or element is Shadow or Undead, which is not yet, I think it's not available from the characters or job classes that we have right now. So don't be fuddled if you see a minus 25% damage reduction whenever you hit Angeline. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for everybody. Okay, so it's the easiest boss. You can pretty much fight it even without a tank. Okay, so next would be the Golden Thief Bug. The Golden Thief Bug, of course, I've already told you guys, you need Sight, Ruach, or Detect because it has height. So you have to go near it in order for you to see it when you are casting Sight, because Sight has a limited range. And don't get befuddled if you are not seeing it still, even if you are casting Sight, because you have to go near it. In KR server, or in the first server that we have played, or the original Korea server that we have played, which one? The Solid Shell. The Solid Shell of the Golden Thief Bug reflects a large percent of physical attacks, normal attacks, and physical damage back to the character. So most of us are always dying on that mode. In this server, the normal attacks and the physical attacks only get stopped. Okay, you stop casting this during the activation period of the Solid Shell. After that, you can still continue. So that's just easier for everybody. Okay, so next, Orc Hero. Orc Hero is just not that dangerous when it has a high HP. Okay, take note of that. But when it reaches 40%, it will be casting a charge skill that will deal a lot of damage to the front line, or the people facing the line of the front of Orc Hero. So after the charge, it will cast another big AoE. So that big AoE deals less damage than the charge. So how to avoid that? When it gets 40% HP, we always go to the left or right side, or the sides of the Orc Hero, so that we won't be damaged by the charge. Okay, let the tanks deal with it or the melee ones, because even if you're on the right side or the left side of the Orc Hero and you're a melee character, you still might die from that charge. Alright, so always be cautious with that one. And it has a casting time, so there's still time for the assassins to backslide from that one, but the blacksmith and the knights, they don't usually stand a chance with that one as of now. Alright, so next would be Deviling. Deviling is just the same as Angeline. It's just easier for you to damage the Deviling because you just input a Aspersio on your character, or use holy or silver arrows on your hunter, and you'll deal more damage to the Deviling. The only thing that you have to worry with the Deviling is its Spirit Abyss. The Spirit Abyss launches or casts a big circle, not a big circle, but you know, a considerably big circle on an area, and it roots people there. When it roots the people there, it damages them per second. So it overlaps. Take note, it overlaps. So if you get, you know, casted by 2 or 3 Spirit Abysses in one place, you might die for a very short time. So you have to be aware of that. Or you must ask your one technique of my party with this one is just get together and you know, take note of the damage that you are taking, so that you will know when to go out of the abyss, or you stay inside to get more damage taken points for your party, and just let the full support heal you. Okay, just don't die. Okay, next one is the Orc Lord. For the Orc Lord, it has both skills, but not that not that harmful, because it has less magical attack, but it still can kill lower leveled players or beginners. So be aware of that. The only thing that you have to consider when you are attacking the Orc Lord is the AoE surrounding skill that he casts. It has 4 ticks before it explodes, so you have to get out. If you're wondering about the element of that skill, of the AoE, big AoE of the Orc Lord, that is fire. So if you have Pasana card, you won't have to worry that much with that skill. So next, let's go to the Maya. The Maya is one of those monsters or MVPs that are really dangerous on the early parts of the game. But right now, most of the people can now tank the brandish spear of the Maya. But if you are still lower leveled player right now, you won't stand a chance with the brandish spear and the Heaven's Drive. But for those people who are, looking at what is the global AoE, why am I dying suddenly because of Maya? Because the Maya has a fear AoE. It has a considerably long casting time. So when that gets casted, always be sure that you turn backwards. Turning backwards versus that fear AoE of the Maya is going to save you from dying, because you take less to no damage at all. Alright? So next would be the Goblin Chief. For the Goblin Chief, this one is kind of easy to kill. The only thing that you have to consider when killing a Goblin Chief is because when it gets to 70%, it casts an invincibility buff. So you won't damage the Goblin Chief during that time. But the thing that is, that is dangerous with the Goblin Chief is it always casts Earth Spike. The Earth Spike of the Goblin Chief is different, very different from the Earth Spike of the Wizard. Its Earth Spike is surrounding him on a small area, but considerably large. If you are inside it, always go out, because that does damage 4 times. So if it did not kill you the first damage, it will be killing you the next damages. Okay, so you can stay there or go outside after taking some damage. And in terms of the long-ranged characters such as Hunter, we are safe with this one, and also the Wizard. Okay, if you want also to withstand that, you can always cast Safety Wall. Now, when it gets to 50%, it becomes Enraged. It does more damage, including its Earth Spike, so beware of that. So that's the time that you should be careful in going inside of that range of the Earth Spike or going outside. Okay, so next would be Mistress. Mistress, in my opinion, is second to the easiest MVPs that you're going to be fighting nowadays. Not because the damage is negligible, but a lot of people are farming Mistress, both DPS, physical, and magic dealers. So for example, because the priest and the wizards really need the expert ring of the Mistress, so a lot of people are farming her. So it's kind of easier for you to to attack and to do MVP hunts with the Mistress. The only attack of the Mistress that you should be careful of is the Thunderstorm. If the Thunderstorm doesn't kill you, any attack of the Mistress won't be killing you. Okay? Next would be the Drake. The Drake's fatal skills would be Water Ball, and you have to note when he is casting Agi Increase on himself, and also Weapon Maximization, because that kills a lot of people. When those two skills get piled up together, Drake will be unstoppable in terms of normal attacks, so beware of that. Always cast Safety Wall on yourself. And aside from that, there's a Torrent casting, the Torrent AoE, but it's, you can survive that. You will live through that, alright? Next would be Osiris. Osiris is kind of dangerous for lots of people until now because of the Meteor Assault. The Meteor Assault deals a lot of AoE damage surrounding the Osiris, and it's even, you know, on a bigger scale right now. The second thing that you have to worry about Meteor Assault is it doesn't have a warning. It doesn't have a warning. When I was counting the seconds before he casts it, it's around 15 to seconds interval of casting Meteor Assault. So you don't even know when he's going to cast it between those 5 seconds cooldown. So the only thing that you have to do in order for you to fight this is either put in and equip an Isis card, or an Orc Zombie card, or even an Argyop if you're that rich or you're that lucky in getting an Argyop card. Okay, so aside from that, be careful of the Tomb. The Tomb has a big AoE that has a casting time, so that's we're thankful for that one. You can avoid it. Always be cautious where it lands, okay? Because the red circle is kind of camouflaged in the pyramids, so you have to look closely where he casts it. Okay, lastly, it's Quagmire. The Quagmire will be reducing a lot of your DPS, so be attentive whenever you get casted on Quagmire. Get out of the Quagmire so that you gain back your agility, your movement speed, your dexterity. Alright, next, Frioni. A lot of people are having a lot of trouble with Frioni. I won't blame them because it's really a hard time battling Frioni. So by the time that you're already confident in battling this MVP boss, you're already tanky enough in surviving through its Heaven's Drive and through its normal attacks. So that won't be a problem. The only problem with Frioni is the Storm of Mo. It's not even here. The Storm of Mo is a screen-wide AoE. So you have to be very cautious about it. That Storm of Mo, when casted, pulls everyone closer to the Frionis and at the same time damaging them for up to 8 or 10 ticks, I think. So it won't be possible for anybody to survive that. The only way to survive that is if you are stepping on a safety wall. So you always have to cast safety wall on yourself. The second part is don't be in the melee range of the Frioni, because even if you're in the melee range and you are already on a safety wall, that safety wall will get wiped out in just 1 tick and you'll die. Okay, so but if you are on a long range of the Storm of Mo cast, then you can survive with your safety wall. But take note of this, but your safety wall will only last for 3 ticks. Remember, that Storm of Mo, when casted, deals 8 to 10 ticks. So every now and then, you have to cast safety wall on yourself in order for your character to avoid that damage.
Mura at garantisadong yan berries bang hanap mo? Dito ka na sa King James Enterprise. Top up by a character ID with fast and easy transaction. King James Enterprise is the official Nyan provider of Exodia and Ragful View. What are you waiting for? Order now at King James Enterprise. Like us on Facebook.
Okay, so that's why most of the people are bringing, you know, whizzes here and 2 priests here because of the safety walls. Okay, so that is for the Frioni. Next, Edgar. Edgar has a powerful, or deals a powerful fire skill, which is both Magnum Break and Fireball. So if you have Jack card, that would be really helping you in reducing the damage that Edgar does. So always be careful when battling Edgar. Always bring out those resistant cards from to battle him. And aside from that, when he gets power boost, that's the second thing. That's the only thing left that you have to worry when he has a power boost and at the same time he casts Ferocious Slam. Aside from that, the Ferocious Slam will only affect the players that are near him or the first set of players that are along through those line of the casting of the Ferocious Slam. Okay, next, let's go to the Dracula. The Dracula is really dangerous, one of the most dangerous MVPs right now. So in order for you to battle Dracula, you don't attack it first, you have to use sight first. Even if it's not hiding, you have to use sight first, because by the time that you attack it, it will get hidden or it will hide and attack you with Grim Tooth, and that's always almost a certain kill for a lot of players. So in order for you to avoid that, always use sight or ruak or any detecting skill first and then attack him. Second thing that you should do is lure him to a place in the Geffen dungeon wherein there's little to none mobs, okay? Little to none mobs spawning, like in the in the entrance of the dungeon. Why? Because the mobs here in this map is kind of tanky. They have a lot of HP and they deal a lot of damage. So it's always better to battle the MVP and the summons alone without all of the other mobs joining the fight, okay? So that's the second point. The third one is battling Grim Tooth, because there are some times that the Dracula will still be able to cast Grim Tooth. So when it casts Grim Tooth, the only way to prevent you from getting damage from it is safety wall on the melee range, okay? The safety wall on the one who steps on the safety wall on the melee range of the Dracula and it attacks it with Grim Tooth, it will get nullified, because Grim Tooth range is determined by how far or how close the enemy is with it. So if the Dracula casted on a character that is on its melee range, that's considered melee damage. So the safety wall will be able to fight that one. But if it's farther from that range, it gets a ranged damage. So you would need Pneuma for that one, okay? So next, the next thing that you have to worry with Dracula is its AoE. It has a lot of normal attack AoE and the Blood Pact. The Blood Pact is really hurting and it will kill you usually, okay? The Blood Pact steals life from the party members. So when you receive a link between you and the Dracula, get the farthest possible from the Dracula to cut that link so that he won't be stealing HP from you. So when he is already done stealing HP from the people around him, he will be casting a large AoE. So by the time that you are already very far from the Dracula, you're still going to be, safe from that AoE. But everyone in that AoE is usually gonna die, okay? So next, if you are willing to really battle him, you have to at least get an Argyop card, because Argyop card is going to be making it so much easier when you attack this monster, and also Isis card, alright? Next, let's go to the Moonlight Flower. The Moonlight Flower has a very high magical attack. So it's cold bolts, fire bolts, and lightning, all of the bolts. It has all of the bolts. So it will deal immense damage, terrible, menacing damage. It's always going to be a sure kill. It doesn't have a cast time too, so it's going to be troublesome. So you just have to, you just have to wear magic damage reduction gears, or you just have to wait for the priest to resurrect you, okay? So next thing is it has a hammer fall, so be careful with the stun. And the big thing that you have to watch out when battling Moonlight Flower is when it gets to 40%, it will be calling a jingle bell. The jingles. It calls a lot of lightning to strike down a lot of places in the screen. So if you have Agibless, it would be easier for you to avoid those strikes, but that's going to be a lot. So that happens every 30 to 45 seconds in battling Moonlight Flower that is below 40% HP. Okay? So, next, Baphomet. Okay, Baphomet is the hardest, okay? Is the hardest to battle. The first reason why he's the hardest to battle with is because he casts the most number of skills. For an MVP, he has a lot of skills. The second one is he has AoE skills, unlimited AoE skills. The third one is the map. The map is kind of troublesome because the map is usually very small. The place is usually very small for you to even move. So when it gets filled with a lot of Spirit Abyss, you're gonna die for sure. Alright? So the first thing that you should be looking at here is a tank. Okay? I would be suggesting a very good tank in order for you to battle Baphomet. The first one, you have to have an Argyop, or at least a Kalitzberg card. We still don't have Kalitzberg card because we still don't have the glass time patch, but be sure to get one of that when it gets, you know, in our global server. Jack card, because the meteor storm of this monster deals a lot of damage and it stuns, so you're really gonna die, okay? In terms of the Lord of Vermilion, it's not going to be killing you that much because it has several ticks, just enough for you to get out of that AoE. So I would suggest 2 priests when battling Baphomet, or a very good priest. So 2 priests in order for you to juggle the resurrection, because the resurrect cooldown is around 2 seconds, I think, and you would need more of those when battling Baphomet, particularly if you are the DPS. The Baphomet has a very big, a huge AoE when it gets to less than 40%. So when that AoE, or the shout AoE, gets released, it's gonna surely kill you, even if you're in even if you're using an Argyop card. So be aware of that. And the last thing that you should be looking at here is the Spirit Abyss. The Spirit Abyss of the Baphomet is very different from the Devilings. So the Baphomet's Spirit Abyss stays on the ground for a longer period of time. It deals more damage, and the cooldown is quite very fast. So he can really fill in the map or the place with a lot of Spirit Abyss. It gets really much crowded on that spot. So that's usually going to be a problem when battling Baphomet. Alright, next, Pharaoh. So the Pharaoh is now, you know, able to be killed by our whales here in our server. So the first thing and the only thing that you should be thinking about the Pharaoh is the charge arrow, because the charge arrow, or the long punch that will be knocking back your character, if it doesn't knock back, you're surely gonna die with it. It's kind of dealing a lot of damage, and it doesn't have a cast time, so always prepare yourself for this one. The next one is like a thunderstorm, but it has a cast time, so you can avoid that. The one of the big things that you have to consider with Pharaoh is the Marduk, because the Marduk summons also cast different types of skills. So if you don't kill those, then you'll be in trouble. All right. Next, and the last one is the Doppel. Okay, for the Doppelganger, it's kind of, you know, easier versus all of the other higher MVPs that you can battle. So in terms of the Doppelganger, the only thing that you need here are safety walls. Just put a lot of safety walls so that your party members would be very safe. Okay, so he has a very huge AoE when he gets to a lower HP, but it's okay. Most of the people now can withstand that, and it has an open point so that you could avoid that or evade that. The thing that you have to consider when fighting Doppelganger is its bowling bash. The bowling bash deals a lot of damage, and it's in, you know, considerably okay AoE. So the one thing to avoid that is just, you know, don't stick together with your party members on a melee range. Just let the tank be on that melee range. And the pets really help with the Doppelganger because he kills fast when there's no safety wall. So take note of that. He becomes enraged when below 40%. So take note of that too. Okay? Whew! So that's it. A very long video, but I do hope that you have, you have learned a lot in this video. I'm sorry if I am stuttering. I had no time to, to edit this or ask my editor to edit this. So that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. If you happen to like this video, please do leave a like, share this with your friends, and click that bell notification button so you get notified every time I upload a new video, start a new stream, or a new content. That's it. See you again on the next video. Bye-bye! 'Cause now I found you.